We first learned of talking trees in Lord of the Rings, followed by the Whomping Willow in Harry Potter. Then in 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy gave us a true cinema in the form of Groot.
In the hits. Look at me. Hey, I have a few points of criticism.
The adorable and loyal friend just got a show, I Am Groot. It debuted on Disney Plus on Wednesday, August 10th as part of Marvel's Phase 4 release schedule. Marvel fans will notice many Easter eggs carefully hidden in each episode, as Marvel is known to do with every project. So, without further ado, let's break them down. The first episode of I'm Groot, titled Groot's First Steps, gives us a big clue as to where the series fits into the MCU timeline. He first appears as an adult in Guardians of the Galaxy, but when he sacrifices himself to save his friends, all that remains of Groot is a broken twig. Rocket places the twig in a potted plant, and Groot can sprout once more. This may not sound like an Easter egg, but we've got your back, clueless fans. The first episode shows Groot, a sapling, a certified cutie, waking up in his potted plant and taking his first steps, implying that the show begins shortly after the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. Later episodes, on the other hand, appear to take place after the second film and before Avengers Infinity War. But is the show truly a part of the Marvel Universe? James Gunn has said not necessarily, but Marvel Studios' Winterbaum disagrees, saying Groot's development in early stages fall in a narrow window between the end of Volume 2 and its tag scene. The bosses can't agree on whether it's canon or not, but the purpose of the 5-episode shorts is to deliver heartwarming and feel-good moments, so we're satisfied either way. A yarrow root can be found right next to Groot's potted plant. If this plant looks familiar, it's because it appeared in a funny scene in the second Guardians film. After being captured by the Guardians aboard their ship, Nebula requests to eat this strange food source. She claims to be hungry, but both Gamora and Nebula's adopted sister and Drax tell her on separate occasions that the root isn't ripe yet. Nebula refuses to comply and eats it outright, only to discover that the Guardians were correct and the root wasn't safe to eat. In the show, when Groot becomes enraged with another tree, he throws a yarrow root at it. The root lands on the tree and ricochets back, knocking Groot over. The fact that none of the Guardians have realized that the plant is a bad omen is funny. Instead of continuing down the ever-lengthening narrative line, I Am Groot takes an alternate route of mentioning silly tidbits and displaying entertaining clues to showcase a refreshing arc and showing us a day in the life of Groot instead. In the series, Groot gets into scrapes and brawls with other alien creatures. Every episode ends with a warning label assuring viewers that no one was put in danger. Each disclaimer is a blink and a miss it moment, but adds to the show's charm and clever details. The first episode's end credits state, "No tree creatures or plants were harmed during this short." This is funny because a bonsai tree replaces baby Groot and he lashes out in jealousy. It's a funny moment, but we're glad that the tree was unharmed behind the scenes. In the third episode, we see Groot aboard the Collector, a ship used by the Ravager clan in Volume 2 that is eventually destroyed by the film's end. The Ravagers, who stole Yondu's arrow, kidnap Groot, Rocket, and Yondu aboard the Collector during the movie. Yondu's clan used the Collector to travel across the universe and find the Star-Lord, who had stolen an orb from them in the first volume. The appearance of a Collector does, however, make us wonder how long a passage Groot spends aboard it before the second volume of the Guardians movie. We hope Season 2 gives us more answers, but there are 2 more Easter eggs from Episode 3 we have to discuss. Thanos has recently appeared everywhere. Clint Barton drinks from a Thanos Was Right coffee mug in Hawkeye, and an ice cream shop called Infinity Cones opens in the New Asgard in Thor: Love and Thunder. The most recent mention of him occurs in the 3rd episode of I Am Groot. If you look closely at the book Groot Reads in the Bathroom, you'll notice that it has a picture of Thanos on the cover. While the Infinity Saga is over, this scene shows that traces of the era can still be found in the MCU. The real question is, did someone write a biopic on Thanos yet? If so, how do we get our hands on a copy of it? I Am Groot feels like a welcome chance to catch up with a favorite character without the drama. This series is mostly of slow, relaxed, slice-of-life moments with Groot, and our favorite scene involves him grooving to the cool beats. Groot meets an alien who can shapeshift in episode 3. He dislikes it when the alien impersonates him, so he challenges the alien to a dance-off. Groot has learned a thing or two from his friends, and he's here to prove it. And knowing how territorial Groot is, the alien has no place on his vessel. He begins dancing with the alien and leads him to an escape door at one point. Once the alien is in the proper position, Groot activates the door and launches the alien into space. This refers to the scene in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film where Peter Quill distracts Ronan with the dance battle on Xander. The world of Guardians of the Galaxy does not exist only when a new film is released. Instead, it exists all the time, and viewers get a peek by watching Groot's takedown of foes hilariously. Groot activates the door and launches the alien into space. This refers to the first scene in the Guardians of the Galaxy where the Peter Quill distracts Ronan with the dance move on Xander. The world of Guardians of the Galaxy does not exist only when a new film is released. Instead, it exists all the time. The viewers get a peek by watching Groot's takedown of the foes hilariously. Guardians of the Galaxy begins with Yondu and the Ravagers kidnapping a young Peter from Earth. He kept a few childhood belongings with him to remind him of home over the years, including his mother's cassette tape. According to screenshots on Twitter by @MarvelStans, Iron Groot shows the Collector again in episode 5, and Groot is carrying Peter Quill's backpack. During the series' final episode, Groot goes through an old JanSport book bag with various patches on the front, including NASA and Pac-Man, which is also a callback to the Pac-Man scene in Volume 2. An Alf comic book from 1988 is contained within the bag. The year is worth noting because it is the same year that Peter got abducted. It's interesting to see Marvel give one of their characters some breathing room and create a window into his life with almost no plot or overarching story progression. While all the episodes are amusing, one notable and sweet moment is an excellent nod to the Groot we first met. Groot paints a picture of the Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of I Am Groot, and he is seen wrapping his arms around all of them in this photo, which is covered in green glitter. It appears a reference to Groot's sacrifice in the first Guardians film. An adult Groot wraps his tree branches around all of his friends to protect them from falling debris during this scene. You'll notice his branches sprout leaves and sparkling lights everywhere while they're all inside his shield. According to the Guardians of the Galaxy director, James Gunn's February 2019 tweet, the first Groot is dead, and baby Groot is his son, implying that while the original Groot is no longer alive, the younger Groot retains memories of his father's past. While Groot was an ideal subject for a Day in a Life series, he should not be the last. I Am Groot adds new dimensions to the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, and other Marvel properties could benefit from similar additions. That's all, folks. While we're waiting for the second season of I Am Groot, and until then, we'll keep breaking down the show to learn more about Groot and his toddler life. Are there any Easter eggs and clues that we missed? Tell us in the comments below and enlighten us.
No, my friend. Try again. It's not step 2 like this. And 1 and 2. It's on.